Ballers, welcome to another edition of Onside ZA. It was men against boys at Wembley, but the men tripped over their own laces. And Sundowns proved that there's no such thing as invincible in South Africa. This is Onside ZA, brought to you by Betway. Get away more. If you are a new user on the Betway app, please use our affiliate code Onside ZA when joining as a new user. Joining me on the show today, Mr. Len Moleko.
What it do?
And Tsepi Worldwide. Hello, darling.
Hi, darling.
And everybody's favorite super sub.
Angu.
Guys,
I'm sorry. When you said men against boys and the men or the boys were tripping over their laces,
the men tripped over their own laces.
I saw Super Sub's face and his expression change.
Did it?
Yes, he did.
How did it change? Like, explain.
Sadly, negatively. Like, you did not look happy. Like, you went from this.
Not over that plastic cup.
To.
Nah.
Oh, wow.
See, there was something.
It's plastic now, ain't it?
I clocked it.
The FA Cup.
It's plastic now.
Yeah.
So you only won a double last year.
It takes a season. So it takes a season for a cup to be plastic. Eh?
Okay, it's okay. But was there a parade?
No, I was
If
saying...
there's no parade, it's plastic.
So by the way, who are the men and who are the kids in this
Did you
game?
see how horrible that parade of yours was?
Nah, we're talking about other cups.
No. I'm just saying. Did you see how horrible that parade was?
I didn't see.
Don't even mention anything about...
They should have done the parade a week early.
Yeah, don't mention anything about a parade.
No, I'm talking about United's parade.
I'm just saying don't mention anything about a parade.
Okay, and I'm a champion.
Darling, Man City were the
I'm
men.
sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to start stuff, okay?
No, he's got no leg to tell me how to celebrate because he's not a champion. So he can just sit there and suck it in.
I don't have
This is the most sensitive super subs been in a while.
I don't have 115 white elephants hanging around.
Easy way out.
I'm just saying.
More charges than fans at the parade.
Yes.
No, I'm not a child. Oh, please.
Have you said hello to the ballers?
Hello, ballers. Thank you so much for joining
I'm
us.
dealing with losers.
I'm dealing with him. I can't even.
Is that
bring
how you
ballers
console
in.
yourself?
You are a loser this season, buddy.
Is that how you console yourself?
I'm not consoling myself. I'm stating the facts here.
No.
What did you win?
The way you're coming at everything is somebody who's like literally just swallowed 5 lemons at the same time.
But it's okay. But I'm talking about what did you win this
With
season?
sour grapes.
What did you win this season?
The Community Shield. Ain't that a cup?
Nah.
It's
Is it
better
also
than
made
Tiger
of
Cup.
plastic? Is it also made of plastic, my friend?
Jeepers.
It's
Get
a
out of
plate.
here. You're just mad because you were taken to task by a team that has been shite the whole season.
I'm just happy.
Oh, so Marco,
I'm
by the
just
way,
happy
you have
that-
been what the whole season? Hold up, because this one is getting nice and toasty.
He's not wrong.
You were getting shy at the whole season, but you actually have 2 cups, don't you?
No one.
No one.
The FA Cup.
Only FA?
Yeah.
Just.
So Super
But
Sub
it's a
got
cup.
you.
2 cups in
No,
2
I'm not gonna
seasons.
chill. I'm not gonna chill for shit. I'm gonna tell you now
For what?
that no, I'm not gonna say that word. It's a family show. Come on, Tippy.
Yes, darling.
I'm saying now that
Are you on the attack?
no, I'm not on the attack.
You guys lost. Period.
No, it's fine. It's all good. But I've got something to
But
celebrate.
wait, you guys lost. Man City lost to Man United in the final of the FA Cup,
And I'm not
and they were
disputing that.
eyeing. So this is how the domino effect. This is how this house came down. Right, the house of cards. This is how it collapsed. It was talk of a treble. Real Madrid dealt with that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Then
Bounce
it
back.
was double.
Yes, double. Okay, cool. They won the league.
And then it was
And then it was like-
4 back to back. No, don't choose. You can't choose what you
We
want
are
to
talking
say.
about this. Wait, 4 back. It can even be 10 back to back. Calm down.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
just analyzing the season.
Yeah.
And then it was the talk of the double, right? And then Man United covertly dealt with that. That's why we're here.
And
To
then
talk
let's
about the game over the weekend. We've already spoken about City winning the league.
No, it's fine.
Yes.
But
Can we talk about the game from the
you've
weekend,
taken-
please?
no,
Thank
no,
you,
wait,
Marco.
Wait. You've taken us back. How did Arsenal season start?
What's going on?
What is the point?
Arsenal
the
season started with a trophy.
Yes, with the Community Shield.
And then
Then they
how many
finished-
days were they on top of the
They
league?
finished, in fact, I think,
2 points behind.
They finished 2 points behind. I think
With a
Liverpool,
greater goal difference.
Liverpool spent more times on top of the league than Arsenal actually did.
But Arsenal spent more time on top of the league than Manchester City did.
Everyone did because
Everyone
Manchester
did.
City were games behind.
Yeah.
all the
But doesn't
time.
matter.
not
That's a
fair.
fact.
No,
It's like
but like they were
saying
games
Sundown.
behind.
Okay.
They had to go off to the Club World Cup.
And then you beat everybody.
Marco, what are we
And
going
then
to
you still
start
don't
with?
win the league. How useless of a team are you?
Darling, should we mute the microphones and actually start the show? or
Yeah,
what?
how about that?
Ballers,
Okay.
Why are you
Marco.
so bitter?
Marco.
You guys lost.
I'm
Period.
dead.
Let's talk to the ballers here for a little bit. First of all, ballers, once again, welcome.
Because what is
Cornelius saying Len drinking water. He's surprised by that one.
Guys, what is life?
Yes, for people who are
NK
celebrating
Malloy
something.
saying, tell you what, Eric Ten Hag in more trophies than Arteta in 2 years. Cornelius asking about, are we arguing about which trophy is important? I mean, he's saying that the league title is the number one trophy.
Of
We
course,
agree.
it is.
The league title's the big one.
Definitely.
I think the
Actually, Marco,
Champions League first, league title,
and then?
FA Cup,
and then
Carabao Cup,
and then community.
and then Community
So
Shield.
wait, in that regard, if you win a Europa League or a Conference League, does it then become lower than winning the league?
Yes.
It should.
I think so.
On what
because
basis?
Only the Champions League is greater than the Premier League title, I think.
But the conference and
For
the
me,
Europa.
but
are-
this is all-
I get you.
Yeah.
But the Europa and the conference are more difficult to win than the Champions League. If
Yes,
you
Mara, I
think
cannot
about
remember.
it.
Where do the guys that play in Champions League, how did
No,
they get to
'cause you don't
Champions
play
League to
against
start
Real
with?
Madrid.
That's what I'm saying. Where do they come from? Are they not the number one and number two?
Yeah,
in
but
their
Atalanta
respective
are the
leagues?
champions of the Europa League.
Exactly.
They can't finish fifth in their league.
Well, they were in the Italian Cup final and they lost to Juve,
Yes.
even though Allegri got fired after that. But that's not the point.
What a fantastic performance from Atalanta, which we'll get to, Super Sub.
Of course.
Especially with Bafana looking forward to Nigeria and Ademola Lookman looking like the best player on the planet in that Europa League
I'm
final.
scared for Bafana.
Lookman
was.
did so
Well,
well.
on the bright side, you can be less scared because I think I read on my way here that Victor Osimhen is actually injured. He's out for 4 weeks, so he's not going to play.
But
in
he
the-
was not. He did not pose that
scared
much of a
for
challenge
Lookman.
to us. Even in
Osimhen.
AFCON, exactly. He didn't pose a challenge to us like
I agree,
that.
But Lookman did
Look
also,
at Napoli's season.
Exactly.
Lookman did also. He didn't also pose too much of a threat
I
for
agree.
Bafana.
Bafana did sort of keep Lookman fairly
At bay.
quiet
They kept him at bay.
in that AFCON fixture. But he looked different in that Europa League
Yeah,
final.
that-
Yeah,
Lookman
man, we are
against that
escaping
Denver.
the topic at hand, guys. The FA Cup final.
Okay, let's get there. First of all, V12 by Turbo in the comments says, I'm a Man United fan, but I'll readily admit that Arsenal had a better season because they were worth watching. We were all just passing time after all. That is a very good point in the sense that I think that Man United fans are obviously delighted to have won the FA Cup. It's a huge trophy. It's the oldest trophy in world football.
I
Switch
agree.
with history.
Very, very quickly, when I'm Marco, I just want to interject because this Ubongani Chabalala is saying the contrary. He says the problem with Man United is that we have become so bad that we celebrate winning the less important cups when in our past we would be taking 3 of those in one season.
Once. We got three
it was
once.
once. The treble was
And
once.
even doubles and stuff were rare to come by. It's a difficult thing
A
to do.
treble is
the FA
difficult
Cup.
to accomplish, number
Yes,
one.
there's only 2 clubs in England who have ever done it.
Yeah,
And it's Manchester City, the best side in world football that we've seen in years.
And who? Was it Liverpool as well?
No, it was Man United
Manchester
and Man
United
City.
in
And who?
1999. Manchester
So
United
the
in
two
99.
Manchester clubs are the only two teams in
They
there.
have won a
Oh,
treble
I
in
One
English
can
football.
argue Liverpool.
that
Ma-
treble
no,
doesn't
it
count.
wasn't.
That
That's what
tr-
I'm
yeah, it
asking.
was
Where they won the Champions
Yes.
League,
Yes, that's
but
what
they
I'm
didn't win the
asking.
Premier League.
Yeah, they didn't win the Premier League. So,
Does it
but they
count
won
as a
3
treble?
cups.
Yeah, but it's a plastic treble. That
So there is
the
a
importance
plastic.
of the
league-
ranking comes
you
in.
can't, You can't add the League Cup, which is a cup that was designed to put young players on the field and let the lower league teams play against the higher
But
league
there's other
the
teams
League
that won
Cup.
the League Cup last season and it was still celebrated as like
It's a
big
trophy.
trophy.
So I think what makes up a treble.
FA is still a big cup.
So I think
No,
what makes
FA
up a
Cup
treble,
is-
a
yes.
good
It's
treble,
huge.
it's a league, Champions League, and either of the other 2,
Smaller ones.
FA or
League Cup?
League Cup.
No, wait, who won the League Cup last
treble.
season?
Manchester United won the League Cup last season.
Oh, yes.
Which is kind of, but I agree. I think that's the most plastic trophy after Community Shield, obviously, because it's one game. Community Shield, one game.
But to be fair,
So can we then compare the Community Shield to that a Black Label one day Kune situation? Remember, we have an official Nedbank.
it's not an
A
exhibition.
Black Label
The
Cup,
format
and then
is
we have
different.
one.
you need to earn to
The format
be.
is different.
You
yes.
need to earn the chance to play in the Community Shield. Just on the basis of that, I think we are underplaying it based on it's a preseason trophy. Yeah. But you need to earn it. And you earn it by either winning the league or winning the FA Cup
But
or
it's-
finishing second.
Listen, I think that it's valuable to win a Community Shield. But out of the 3 trophies in English top flight football, that's not one of the 3. It's number 4.
Look,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, look,
It's down in the ranks.
I think the only trophies
But it's
not
still-
worth the only
Yes,
trophies.
but I think when we
you
define
Spurs-
a treble, we define a treble based on the top 3s, and the top 3s we've already
If
mentioned.
you Spurs, you'd love a Community Shield, right?
Look, the Tiger Cups, the Emirates Cups,
Those
the
don't
Audi-
count.
Those things are
They
not cups.
don't count.
Yes, it's competitive inter-competition like Community. I'd say League Cup, Carabao. I'd say FA. I'd say Champions League, Europa, Conference, and the league. Those cups, I say, have some level of value in them.
Okay, in conclusion, I agree with you, my friend. It holds a lot of weight and it's not plastic. Stop it. Super sad.
No, we call it plastic in this show. For the sake of this show, they're called plastic. It's a plastic cup.
League Cup as well, then.
Everything besides Champions League and the Premier League,
And
it's
white
plastic
elef-
in this
and-
show.
and white
That's how
elef-
we referred it to it. That's how we referred it.
And white elephants.
Even
as
FA
well.
Cup. I'll never in my life have said FA Cup is
No, but
plastic.
if you don't win it, you obviously gonna call it plastic.
Because that's why City's treble last season was so important, because it wasn't a League Cup or Community Shield or anything like that
It
we
was
counted
actually
to
an
the
FA.
treble. It was Premier League title, Champions League,
And
FA
FA.
Cup is an outrageous achievement.
It is.
And the next outrageous
if-
achievement in terms of record breaking is Man City winning 4 in a row.
Precisely.
But
so
we discussed that last week.
Yes.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
that's what I'm
that would
saying. FA
then-
Cup.
That would mean that
it was
FA
not
is
discussed.
not
Okay,
plastic.
let's talk about the game.
Yes, FA Cup.
The reason I said it was men against boys was, although I think that tactically and in terms of heart and spirit of the performance, Manchester United were the better side. They played with a lot more heart, a lot more spirit, and I think more tactical
Especially in the
nous
first half.
on how to win the game, right? They defended terrifically well. And I think if United had Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane as a consistent partnership through most of the season, they would have performed a lot better. And that's why Eric Ten Hag keeps bringing up this thing that he had 33 different centre-back partnerships across the season.
If you had Casemiro at centre back, like you can,
We would
that
have lost,
clearly,
right?
That's
Yeah.
clearly a crisis.
So, but I think the reason I said men against boys and that City were the men and that the boys were Manchester United, but then City shot themselves in the foot by not showing up on the day in the same way that we know they can. I'm not saying Man United didn't play well and didn't deserve it. It's just that if City really played the Man City way that they can play, United wouldn't have stood a chance no matter what they did.
So
I think you're so used to not doing as well and your team not doing as well that even when they are performing optimally and the other team in this case was not doing well, you still downplay the performance.
No,
They
I think Man
actually
United played
well.
really, really
Yes,
well.
then don't
But
have a
Man
bat,
City,
just say
no,
they
Man City
won.
are a much better side.
That's it.
no, granted, but
But
also
in this
the
case,
quality
they
of
were
the
actually
players, the ability of the players, the reason why they were able to keep 75% possession of the ball during the FA Cup is they're a better side. But Man United went there with a game plan, and it was a game plan that only works if you want it more than the other team. End of story. Man United wanted it.
you know,
Is it because I'm sorry, my darling, I'm going to interject very, very quickly. Think on it and then you will speak, ne? Because ballers are asking
What am
this
I thinking
question.
on?
Whatever, get to think on the question and then you will respond to what you were saying. Ballers are asking, do you think that Ten Hag will still get sacked?
We'll get there.
We'll
continue.
get there.
That's what I'm saying. Think on it and then, yeah.
the other element that we're not talking about here, the elephant in the room, is a point that MacG made in one of the earlier episodes that we had. Is it not strange that I'm not doubting his quality, but
You know
if
what's
we-
coming.
If we're being fair, let me finish.
Who is he, by the way?
We all know who I'm talking about. If we're being fair, is he not a big game bottler?
He's a big boy, but boy oh boy, does he perform much better against lower level teams.
If we look at all the Champions League final last year, Norway.
Bernardo Silva.
No.
That's what I'm saying. No, I know you're talking about Erling Haaland.
Yes.
And he's the one who doesn't show up to the big games.
Yes.
Champions League final, Bernardo Silva.
Yes. FA Cup final,
Just
he wasn't
recently,
there.
he wasn't.
Champions League now, quarterfinals when they got knocked out by
Is it
Real
the
Madrid.
pressure? You can't take
no
the pressure?
showing
Big
up.
game against Spurs.
The big game against Arsenal. He didn't show
Phil
up.
Foden. Right?
What happens?
Erling Haaland does struggle in the big games.
He's a good striker, but he's a big game bottler.
But I'm with you, Super Sub, and I know what you... I think I know what
gonna
you're
No,
repeat
wait,
myself.
Marco, you're not with
But
it.
I'm
not gonna
Let's
repeat
hear
Erling
you.
Haaland is the best number 9 in world football,
Can we hear
but he does struggle against better opposition.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've always agreed on that, and that's why a game of football is played by 11 people.
But do you
know, and being part of a good team, it means that when you are down, others are gonna carry you. That's the bottom line. And if we're gonna call him a bottler, then maybe it's fair, it's warranted because he has missed.
in big games.
Listen to what I'm saying.
In big games.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Yes.
I'm saying it's warranted what you're saying based on what you're saying because stats don't lie. You know what I'm saying? If you are basing your effect as a bottler for big games based on the fact that he didn't score on big games, then he's a bottler. But that doesn't take away how great of a performer he is.
No, granted. It's
What do you
I
think
can
that is, Super Sub? Sorry, very quickly.
Look, I've said this before in the show that it takes time for certain players to mature and to get in the rhythm of
Come into their own.
I mean the guy is only 23. You know what I'm saying? And in as much as he has bottled all those opportunities to play in Champions League final and not score, he has helped the team to get there, and that's what you can ask from a player.
So the point and why I'm calling him a big game bottler is there are certain players who are able to take a game by the scruff of the neck by themselves. Cristiano Ronaldo can win you a game
Yeah,
by
of course.
himself.
Yeah.
Well, the old Cristiano Ronaldo. Lionel Messi was that kind of player as well. He showed up in the big games. We saw in the World Cup final.
Well,
we
there
saw
are
in
World
many
Cup finals where he did not deliver anything. So what I'm saying is they will get
Kylian Mbappe.
sometimes at PSG he's not able to do that. And when PSG actually lost, who did PSG lose against in the Champions League?
But what I'm saying is, Marco,
Borussia Dortmund.
we can't waste time discussing Erling Haaland being a bottler. We are agreeing that yes, he does disappear in big games, and we have spoken about this. And I've shared my view on that, and I still say, Len, a player of his caliber, there will be a point where we're going to look back and say, maybe we judge him harshly. He's in his second season. He scored over 25 goals, easily.
Yeah, I've got
against
three
Brighton.
things. I've got
Then
three
begs
things
the
to
question,
say.
is he worth the hype though?
Yes, he is.
He's
Absolutely.
worth
He's the best
everything.
number. I've said already. He's the best number 9 in world
So
football.
I'm saying
Better than
As a
Harry
9.
Kane. Better than Harry Kane? I'm just asking. But
Well,
anyway,
I don't think it would.
No, maybe
Len,
not.
Can I answer that?
Yes, darling. Please answer.
I think Harry Kane is a better player because he has done it more than Erling Haaland has done.
Of course.
And now I was just asking. Guys.
Okay, so
But that doesn't take away that at the moment Erling Haaland is the hottest number 9 you'll find.
I'm going to say 3 things. And I think that Erling Haaland is maybe, I should rather say, he's the best number 9 to have in world football because Harry Kane is going to start passing his best, whereas Erling Haaland, you've got years ahead of you.
Which is a fair comparison anyway.
But perhaps right now, looking at it, Harry Kane is a better number 9 to have, maybe. But I'm going to say 3 things about Erling Haaland. Number 1, do you know where he's placed in Europe's top goal scorers this season?
No.
Check.
I can
But
tell
it
you,
should-
you don't need to
Okay.
check.
Yeah, probably
Wait.
number 2.
Number 2,
Yes.
Who's number 1?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Lazo.
And drawn number 2 is Kylian Mbappe. Look at those names that he's sitting with.
And he's younger.
Let me ask you
Than
another
Kane.
question. Let me ask you another question. How many games did he have to play? How long was he available compared to the rest of those players?
I mean, we spoke about it.
Much
was
less, he
out
had an
for a
injury.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
So,
away for a month.
Erling
and a half.
Haaland was away for a month and he's the second biggest goal scorer in European football this season. After being out for a
I'm
month.
not
It's easier to
disputing
pick on a
that.
player, You know, it's easier to pick a player like him because he's a star, right?
Mm.
But yes, Lenny's got a point. He
So
disappears in big games.
that's my second point.
But it can't be our point of discussion week in, week out.
Then
We didn't speak about him last week, Mus.
No, we've spoken about this, and
But it was something worth noting.
no, not even.
I was
okay,
watching
my
the
second
FA Cup
point. My
final
second
and-
point is the FA
second
Cup
point.
final. My second point is the FA Cup final. He had a terrific strike that hit the post.
I remember that.
That was thunderous. And
Yes.
it was from a position in the box that not many strikers would have scored that, let alone have gotten as close as he did. The veracity of the strike, how quickly he got it from out under his feet, how difficult he was to deal with in that moment. We would be telling a different story now if he scored the goal that got City back in the FA Cup final and they won the FA Cup, and then all of a sudden he doesn't bottle. He was inches away from losing that bottling big games title. Okay?
Oh, it takes one game.
It takes, I think it does in a way. I think that we would be telling a very different story now if that went in, right? I think we would be.
Most probably.
But the third point is Erling Haaland is the very best in the world at what he's the best at what he's good at. Running onto the ball, dealing with defenders, getting a header, getting a shot in, whatever, tap-ins, things that he's the best at that. And against the bigger sides, there's going to be less chance of that because they're going to be able to contain those sorts of opportunities better. They've got a more experienced side with better defenders, maybe more pace in their side, things like that. So Erling Haaland probably struggles in the big games because his game isn't broad enough. And that's why I'm very specific when I say Erling Haaland is the best outright 9, because he doesn't do the other things in the game that well. But boy, oh boy, those things as a number
thing that he
9,
has to do.
he's terrific.
Okay,
Fair.
because
That's a fair observation.
because Super Sub is probably going to kick me out of here.
No, I'm not gonna kick you out.
Let's go to the question from the ballers about Eric Ten Hag.
I wanted to
Marco,
mention
you-
something about the FA. You know, before we move on,
Okay, let's hear you.
how important was Bruno Fernandes in that game, Marco, for you?
I think he was tremendous.
I think it was. I think
pass
it's the
of the
difference.
decade.
I think it was the difference in that game.
I
honestly
think
speaking.
I think that it's hard to look across Man United's side, and I'll pick out one more player that's like really a difference maker in that game, and it's Kobe Mainu, who was phenomenal.
How's
And
that
for
assist?
a young man
But
also, yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, if you analyze that assist in the game and go and watch it back, as he's running from the halfway line, he looks over his shoulder 3 or 4 times. Not where he's running, not where the ball is, etc. He looks over his shoulder and he sees where Kobe Mainu is running to 3, 4 times. So that it's possible for him to make the pass. He knows exactly where he is without having to look up. And he just makes a first-time late pass when everyone's expecting him to shoot into the part. Perfect assist. One of the best assists you'll see.
That assist
Phenomenal.
for me gave me chills. You
And
know,
a terrific goal. From defense to attack as quickly as that. Rashford with a beautiful cross-field ball to switch the play. Garnacho doing very well.
Excellent. And for the first goal, in fact, when you speak about Garnacho, another question, Ortega, how would you rate his performance compared to the normal shot stopper? Because the very first goal really was an error.
Yeah,
in
look,
his-
I
on
mean,
his-
I don't
in his
think
thought?
you can blame him much. You know,
Okay.
well, Ederson is prone to make.
He just
Mistakes,
He just
you
had an off day. Ortega's a very good goalkeeper.
I don't
That's
think he
what I'm
even had
saying.
an
I
off
think
day. He performed well in the rest of the game. It was
Yes,
one
yes,
mistake.
yes. I'm asking about that specific moment.
For me, Ortega is still a good shot stopper than Ederson. Ederson,
For real?
however, yes,
Ah,
Ederson
interesting.
gives more in terms of he's a sweeper keeper. He's better as a sweeper keeper than
Which is
Ortega
important for City style of play.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for me, there's rumors of Edison moving on. And we discussed this before, that Edison might go to Saudi for big money, something. And we still mention that Brazilians don't seem to, when Saudi comes knocking with money, they go.
Well,
they're
when
about
money
to go.
comes,
Where the money
knocking,
comes,
the-
Brazilians go.
They
right?
don't have loyalty for any club.
Loyalty, yeah.
But I think that City won't struggle with Ortega as their number 1. If Edison were to go, I think Ortega's a very good goalkeeper. I don't think they'll struggle with him as number 1. Although I do think they'll go back to the market if Edison were to leave, and they will pick up a different goalkeeper.
Will be
Interesting.
interesting to see who they get, because it looks like the market is
It's
not
got
literally,
renewed, Marco.
it's not littered with goalkeepers at the moment.
And that's actually Aaron Ramsdale was rumored to be going to Newcastle. and he's too expensive. Arsenal want too much money for him. It looks like they're going to be looking at Burnley's goalkeeper James Trafford as a new first choice goalkeeper at the
It seems
club.
as though Burnley is just losing a lot. Right?
You get relegated, they're gonna
Right.
They're
they're
going
gonna
to
chop
strip you for parts.
Yeah, of course.
They're going
Yeah.
to chop you away. Speaking of relegation and promotion, joining Ipswich and Leicester in the Premier League, Southampton's back.
The Saints, yeah. I actually thought...
I thought Leeds would go
yeah,
through.
I also
I mean,
thought
we
Leeds
said
would
this
go
last
through.
They
I
were
wanted Leeds to
favourites.
come back.
But Southampton, it's nice to see Southampton back in the Premier League.
Yeah, but...
They're a constant in the Premier League.
Yeah, and I think they literally, just like United did on Saturday, on Sunday, Southampton literally got their tactics on point. They made sure they score early in this first half and like literally kept Leeds United out. But again, that game was a bit dull. Outside of that one goal, there was nothing in that game that kept you on the edge of your seat. I suppose it became KG because it's not called the richest match in world football for nothing. Both sides probably approached the game with caution, but Southampton got the one opportunity with, what's his name? Is it Adam Armstrong?
Armstrong, yes.
Yes. And they capitalized on it, and they just made sure they closed shop, and they did.
They were
and,
defensively very, very, very solid.
And they basically back in the Premier League.
Your boy Ruo, I see your comment there, and very good idea. Thank you so much for that. We will actually look at having live call-ins during the show,
That'll
and
be
be
dope.
able to. It'll be really cool to take you guys in. We'll
And shout
figure
out Super
out.
Sub.
Yeah. We'll figure out how to go about that from a technical standpoint, because there will be technical issues that we have to deal with there. Like, we don't like to wear headphones in here, but we'll figure it out. But very good suggestion.
Yeah, one thing that we actually, before we moved over to the FA, to the
Premier
to
League.
the playoff
Final.
to the playoff final, there was a question earlier on about Ten Hag. Stay or go, according to you?
I've been saying it for the past few weeks. That I think by looking at what's out there in terms of managers, you might as well stay with Ten Hag, because no one else out there is going to perform any better with the state that the club is in.
Okay, may I just interject right there? Stories and rumors in the grapevine are saying that it's either, certain coaches, Southgate,
No, that one's dead already.
Pochettino.
Yeah.
They said
probably.
yes. They said Kimangwawa, Ipswich.
Kieran
Kieran
McKenna, he's
McKenna.
already signed a new
Signed
deal
Chelsea,
with
yeah.
Ipswich.
Another one was Tuchel.
Oh, no. Ipswich,
So the
no.
options
That's,
were that-
Enzo Maresca from Leicester.
Yes,
So,
of
but
course.
Leicester are desperate for money. You
Yes,
must remember, Leicester are going to get dock points as the season starts if they don't turn their books around.
Those
So to get
negatives.
£10 million from Chelsea for their manager now is going to be a big deal for them.
Of course.
So
the
Kieran
story-
McKenna is out.
He's out.
The other
yes.
thing that I
so
read-
Tuchel as well as
And
Pochettino,
De Zerbi.
the story
De
was that
Zerbi,
they
yes,
are
is the
having
one that I read.
conversations. So,
But-
my question is, and actually, may I just say that I think that Ten Hag already knew that he just might be out, but he was like, okay, if I'm going to leave, let me leave with a bang. And he was able to accomplish that by winning an FA against a Man City. I don't think that they're still going to keep him. I think they had already decided, but it would be nice to keep him.
So
Well, they've
from
definitely not decided.
So what I've read was that so there was an article that came out on the Friday
Yeah.
saying that win or lose, Ten Hag is out. And then post the FA Cup final win,
The win, yeah.
then Radcliffe and his goons there
boys,
at
yeah.
United there were like, okay, we still need to sit down and have
do a
chat
season review.
and do a season review. Only then will we
decide what's
decide
gonna-
whether.
But
he
I think
stays
that
or
was
goes.
always the case.
Yes.
And I think that those rumors that were happening before that, Ten Hag's already gone no matter what. Like what happened to Van Gaal when he was Man United manager, won the FA Cup, was fired later that afternoon. So I think that Ineos Group are real football people, which is something that Man United haven't had. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what they decide. For me, I am not convinced that a manager will change things around enough for Man United to be immediate success. They need to build. And is Erik Ten Hag the right man to build around? Who knows? But I don't see anyone else that's glaringly obvious as a better option to help build the team with.
There's Xavi, there's Zidane, there's Tuchel.
Zidane doesn't
there's
speak English.
Pochettino.
Xavi's not performed
I mean-
as a top manager.
Xavi's
not one.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that Xavi conversation a little later on.
I'm surprised Barca got rid of him, to be honest.
Yeah.
It kinda hurt,
So
actually.
so I was saying, and like, yes, there isn't many, but there are a couple of top quality managers that you could get in. But again, with them coming in, it's not going to be
Immediate success.
yes.
Exactly.
No.
Right? I mean, what Chelsea did, like we said the other day, was stupid. Getting rid of Pochettino.
I agree
think
100%.
it was, all right. So with either Pochettino or Allegri or Tuchel
Thomas,
or,
yes, exactly.
or whoever comes in, firstly, there's a lot of players that you need to get rid of. And are you going to turn around the squad and the chemistry? And there's a lot to be fixed.
That's what
at
he's
Man
saying. They
United.
still need to build.
Yeah.
So I think what Marco is saying is that the question was stay or go, and I think Marco made like some good points on why they should stick with him, and I agree with Marco in a sense that getting rid of him would be making the mistake that they've made with Van Gaal, the same mistake that they made with Mourinho. They didn't allow those coaches enough time with the squad and
To cook.
yes, you know what I'm saying. So with Eric Ten Hag, yes, they didn't have a good season per se, but
Poor season.
poor season, but it ended well.
No,
And-
but by all accounts, that was Man United's worst season.
yeah,
Other
in the
than,
Premier
other
League
than
era.
the FA Cup, if they didn't
Yes.
win the FA Cup final, it will be Man United's worst ever season.
Yes.
Since the 70s when
but
they
if
got
you factor
relegated.
other turbulence that they experienced in the season, I think it would be unfair to just let him go.
But on the contrary to what you're saying,
Yeah.
Aston Villa also suffered a lot of injuries to key players. You didn't
Said
hear
at Liverpool.
you didn't hear Unai Emery going on press conferences and crying about, yeah, but I don't have.
But
I like this voice
He
of
kept
yours
it
that you
going.
use.
But Unai did not have this cloud hanging over him. He had the support. And it does look like Eric Ten Hag, the support is no longer there a little bit. That's why he's going out on a little bit of a rant, in my view.
So I'll finish on the point. I think that you might as well keep Eric Ten Hag because I don't think a manager is the issue. I think Eric Ten Hag is good enough a manager. Yes, I have concerns about his tactics because Man United's midfield looks too empty all the time. But I think Ten Hag needs more support. I'm not talking necessarily about players. I think that he needs more support from the office. He needs a sporting director. He needs more tactical coaches to assist him in getting players ready to perform and to play at a tactical level and have his own tactics analyzed and scrutinized by his team and presented to him and say, when we do it this way, this is what happens to us. We need to adjust. So I think he needs more support. And I think what Ineos is bringing to Man United, which has been a problem in the past, we're talking about the flooding roof at Old Trafford, right? The waterfalls of Old Trafford. This is a problem that Man United has, as one of the biggest clubs in the world, have not had enough investment from the owners in
If you
terms
look
of
at other
the
big clubs.
Manchester City, best training facilities, best academy facilities, the best of the best in terms of behind the scenes staff, best of the best in terms of football directors, best of the best in terms of recruitment directors.
Well-oiled machine, basically.
They've invested huge amounts of money all around the club, not just on the 11 guys who go onto the field. They've invested big there as well. But that's where Man City's success comes from. And I think that the manager is less of a point about why Man United fans should feel hopeful about the future, is that Ineos is changing the right things, the things that we don't see on the TV screen every weekend. Like the roof.
The roof
That's
we
an
see.
important thing. And jacuzzis.
You see the roof, my friend?
The roof and the jacuzzis need to be fixed.
The interesting thing as well, speaking of Ineos, so Sir Jim obviously has interest. Ineos owns Nice, right?
And they
Nice
finished fifth.
Yes, they've qualified for the Europa League.
Yeah.
So has Man United.
So we'll
So one must
see.
die.
Oh, yes, you spoke about the conflict
They've-
of interest.
So they're discussing with UEFA about if the 30% ownership of Ineos is enough to say that they cannot perform with each other, because you must remember the rules have a certain percentage of ownership that regulates this. And this is a discussion we still have to have about Manchester
circle,
City
baby.
and
Full
Girona.
and Girona,
Yes.
who have both qualified for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So we have to see where that's going to go.
Hey, Manchester teams and cutting corners. But yeah, as we were.
So I think that's where Man United fans should really be discussing more so than that. I think that it matters less who the manager in charge is than all of these other things that Ineos are doing behind the scenes. And I think that if you're going to get rid of Ten Hag now, it's going to cost you money because he's qualified for Europe. So he's going to have a big severance package. It's going to be less money that you can spend on transfers. If they've got their staff back from gardening leave that they're stealing from Newcastle, that they're stealing from everywhere. Those guys are on gardening leave still. If they come back now for the transfer window, it's going to be critical to have as much money as possible that you're allowed to spend, because it doesn't matter how much money Ineos is bringing into the club. There's financial fair play regulations. So you can only spend a certain amount.
Yeah.
So they need to bring the right characters into the dressing room, which is going to be huge, because I don't think Anthony's the right character. He's a
You
player
never
with a
liked
bit of
him?
quality, but he's
That
wrong,
was
right?
a Ten Hag era that he
That's a
actually
Ten
needs
Hag
to
era.
that he needs to actually own up to, because
I agree.
that was a waste of 80 million.
But Lissandro Martinez looks like
But it's
a
Antonio's first season.
huh?
It's his second season.
His second season.
It's his second season.
Sure. Yeah, then he's bad.
So we can't even say.
Yeah,
current
his
time.
first season wasn't actually that bad. He scored in his first game against Arsenal last season. He's an opener.
Also, the other thing is, well, before I get to the other thing, I never thought we would actually spend an entire 30 minutes speaking about Man United. Because they were so bad this season.
Oh, they were so bad this season. It's so true.
Sorry, almost choked on my words about United. It's United fans, they're coming for me. What did I want to say? Oh, the other disadvantage that I think Man United have is, I think this past season was a good season for them to actually assemble a squad that was almost competitive enough to actually match up to the Cities, the Liverpools, the
Were they competitive enough?
Arsenal,
leaving,
right?
And finishing in 8th?
Huh?
Were they competitive enough?
Who?
You talking about United or City?
Man United.
Did they not finish in 8th position?
This is not the PSL. Top 8 does not count. If you are not top
no,
2,
No.
is it mad?
Yes, but you were saying they're competitive. I'm asking
No, I'm
if they were
saying
they had a
competitive, why would they
chance.
finish in 8th?
No, he said they had a chance.
They had a
Oh,
chance.
okay, cool.
Now
Continue.
you're confusing me. You like
No, it's
confusing
okay.
me.
Good.
Because now you've got the Euros coming, right? And there is a bad tendency of certain of clubs in general, or of trying to buy stars from
the
these tournaments,
Young stars in particular.
but they end up being failures.
Remember James Rodriguez
Yes,
from the World Cup?
yes,
Even
That's one that stands out for me.
Dos Santos.
yes.
Giovanni
Dos Santos. So there's a book that I read. It's called
one?
Why England
One
Lose.
England loses.
Professor,
Guys,
back
it's
to
the
why
sixth
England
time
lose.
this season that he's spoken about
Hey.
this book.
That book is a
You know
football,
that book.
is a football bible, and it actually
Yeah.
makes reference
Yeah.
to not buying World Cup stars because they never really come to the fold. And now, or not tournament stars. Now United, in trying to rebuild, or if a new manager comes in, Ten Hag goes, the obvious let's fix the problem is going to be, let's go to the market. If you go to the market now, I suppose looking back at the season, your Matetas and your Eze's look like easy solves to slot into that team. Olise as well. But are they the easy solves that are needed by United to actually fix
Well,
the
I hope
roof?
that United have their sporting director back from gardening leave and they buy characters. And I think that's going to be more key than the quality of the player. Is that obviously you need to buy players of a certain caliber in terms of quality to play for a club like Manchester United. But the character is going to be important. And I think we're seeing it in the young players from the academy. I think Kobe Mainu,
Mainu is excellent, yeah.
Alejandro Garnacho,
Kanacha as well.
Scott McTominay showed great character in the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
So I think Man United's academy is an example of, hey, we can get boys with character out of this academy. Maybe not Paul Pogba, maybe not Ravel Morrison, maybe not Jesse Lingard, Those are the wrong characters. But concentrate on character, and it will solve Man United's problems largely. I think
Does Sancho come back?
no. Surely Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho are for sale, and Man United will be hoping to get some money for them so that they can use that to purchase other players.
And I heard a rumor
And do you
that
think that Sancho would want to come back anyway?
no,
it
but
would
he's
be
the wrong
great.
character.
Exactly.
Borussia Dortmund is actually looking into Mason Greenwood.
If Sancho goes and win the Champions League, it would be good for United, because then his value also goes
of
up.
Of course, his value. Yeah.
Especially if Borussia Dortmund, you see Borussia Dortmund make less money. I think Dortmund want Jadon Sancho anyway, right?
And then-
But they make more money if they lose on Saturday
oh yes,
than if they win.
because they don't have to pay.
No, because Real Madrid has to give them £35 million for Jude Bellingham if they win the Champions
that
League
deal.
as
Yes,
part of
I
the
read
clause
about it,
or
yeah.
thing. And they win £30 million if they win the Champions League final. So if they lose the Champions
So
League
win or
final,
lose,
They have to
they
pay
make
for
£5 million
Sancho.
more if they win.
win or lose, there's money coming into the pocket. But I think for Borussia, well, we might as well jump into the Champions League a little bit.
Sorry, DJ King T. Morrison was highly rated. He killed his own career. I couldn't agree more. He was Sir Alex Ferguson's most talented player he's ever worked with. Over Cristiano Ronaldo,
He
Ravel
said-
Morrison,
but-
the most talented player, but the worst attitude.
There was. So speaking of Man United, this is the Man United show.
The
brought
Man
to you by
United show.
Betway.
Get way more.
The same was said about Bebe.
Also true.
The same was said about Nani.
Nani was a great talent though.
But
And
Nani
he-
played actually.
And he played a lot.
Played a lot.
The same was said about he's Brazilian or Portuguese.
What position?
Around the same era.
Ricardo
He was a winner.
Quaresma?
No, not
There was
Quaresma.
Valencia.
Not Valencia. Flip, man, I forgot his name. He was touted as actually the next Ronaldo. What's his name? The name escapes me now. I just forgot. But
Okay, we'll remember.
all these highly rated youngsters never really.
There's a few highly rated youngsters that soar to the top of football.
Oh,
Vinny
yeah, you're talking
Jr.
about Ansu. Oh,
United. He was
Oh,
a United
okay.
player. I think he was Brazilian. I've just forgot his name.
okay, no.
Well, Man United's Brazilians were Anderson and Kleberson.
Anderson is who I'm talking about.
Anderson was, he was a midfielder from Porto.
Yes.
And he looked like a great signing. And then he joined Man United and put on weight. And it was very concerning. Kleberson was the man.
Yeah.
Anderson still was part of a Man United squad way longer than Kleberson. Kleberson just disappeared. Man United don't have terrific luck with Brazilians in general.
You can see with Casemiro, it's not working out.
Casemiro, that's tough on Casemiro because he also joined late in his career, and he's actually only performed really poorly this season at centre back. It's
That's
not his
also
position.
true.
It's not
I mean,
natural position.
he was actually saying in one of the
and
interviews.
last season he was very good for
Yeah.
Man United.
He was saying in one of the interviews that you can't say I went rotten overnight.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he came from injuries as well,
Yeah.
right? He was playing out of position.
Yeah.
And he was part of a setup system that was already
Detrimental,
rotten.
exactly.
right?
It was detrimental
Yeah.
But
to his
to
performance.
pick him out, yes, he had a couple of errors in the game against Arsenal, in the game against Crystal Palace, Wolves as well, I think. But to pick on him specifically to say that, yeah, but he's what is really unfair. On Casemiro is world class. I mean, how many Champions League titles does he have?
Yeah, many.
No, of course. I was saying, Marco said they don't have luck. I was saying, look with Casemiro, he's
Yeah.
a great player, and then with United, it looks like it's not working
Very
out.
unlikely.
That's the bad luck that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man United haven't had much luck. I think Man United's best performing Brazilian is probably Rafael da Silva.
Oh yes.
Because Rafael and Fabio are the twins.
The young boy.
Yeah.
With the Brazilians.
Yes, Rafael and
Chicharito
Fabio.
Well, they still
Chicharito's Mexican.
Oh, okay.
They still
We're talking about the twins.
The twins,
Oh,
Rafael
yes.
and
the ones
Fabio.
with the
Oh,
curly
yeah,
hair.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rafael played right back.
The other one,
Rafael was right back, and Fabio only didn't play as many games as Rafael because I think he was less favored positionally as a right back. Fabio played in midfield and left back. So whereas Man United had depth there, Rafael was preferred at right back. But I think sometimes Sir Alex Ferguson, they were so identical as twins. I think Sir Alex Ferguson would swap their shirts around at half time and just put him out there and be like, we got a fresh player. Wouldn't be surprised.
There was actually a case about that. No, something similar with one of the leagues. I think it was Denmark or something. Like twins who play for the same team. And it was rumored that, like at halftime, literally,
You'd
that's what
swap
the
the
coach
jersey.
does. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, fresh legs, baby, for free.
Didn't that happen with an Asian country as well, where they were disqualified in the World Cup or some big competition because
Not
they
a World
actually
Cup.
switched? What competition was it?
Not a World Cup.
that I
Yes,
remember.
but they would switch.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So, congratulations to, first of all, Aston Villa, who Unai Emery has renewed and signed a longer contract till 2029. It looks like a really long contract with Villa, but they're a good fit. Why not? So
Why
Emery's
not?
doing really well. Aston Villa had a great season. And in our episode with Fabrice Muamba, we spoke about Aston Villa finishing in the top 4 potentially.
Yeah.
Fabrice said Newcastle. He initially said Chelsea and changed his mind, but he reckoned it would be Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Man United who would make up the top 4.
He said Arsenal first.
Yeah, he said, first of all, City and Arsenal, those are going to be the top 2.
Yeah.
And then he said that Chelsea, he fancied Chelsea. And then we said, not Newcastle, Fabrice. And he's like, okay, put out Chelsea, bring in Newcastle. We can go and watch that back. Yeah. But speaking of watching clips back, we had our own Premier League predictions on the 11th of August. And this is the clip from that show. Let's give that a listen. Shots, play the clip for us, please. The English Premier League coming back. Whew. Football is back.
Going back to normality.
And
Normality, he
talking
says.
about going back to normality, and we're all very happy with this. And something that happens at the beginning of every season, the FA Community Shield. There's no shots. Well done. Congratulations to Arsenal. And I think one of my biggest talking points about this game, because it was actually a quality football match. It was a game full of quality. Manchester City and Arsenal both top sides and
They
showing
brought
their
it.
credentials and showing that they probably the two ones to focus on going into the new Premier League season. City, of course, favourites to win it as usual. Arsenal might run them close like they did last year.
See, that's been the biggest talking point, that City are going to do title number 6 in 7 years under Pep, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that maybe Arsenal might run them close. Chelsea, I think when we were doing our picks earlier on, we think they're going to start gelling once Pochettino makes things happen. It's City, you cannot write them off, because as it stands, from the way they were playing in the Community Shield, they still look like the business. All right? But then it's going to be in situations whereby key injuries happen to key personnel in the club. I think that might sway with regards to who is going to look like a favorite, who's going to lose players in January. I don't think City's going to lose anybody for the AFCON, right? No. They don't have any African players.
No, not
Memory
really.
serves me. Yeah.
Mahrez is
So
gone.
those are the kind of things that I think will sway the conversation. We will sway the conversation as the season goes.
City had more ball position because obviously that is their strength, But if you look at shots at goal, I mean, it was very close, So I think Arsenal still got it in them, and I think the addition of like your Declan Rice and all of those other guys, I think it's gonna go a long way. I think they're gonna run City very close. I think it's still gonna be City and Arsenal title race this season.
Those words.
Clairvoyancy.
Boy, oh boy. City first, Arsenal second, and within 2 points. I think we saw that coming. Perhaps the rest of the top 4, like I said, we mentioned Aston Villa might sneak their way in, and I don't think we're terribly surprised that Liverpool performed well in Klopp's final season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't want to make predictions for next season's Premier League just yet. We'll
Not
wait.
yet, of
We've
course.
just
We'll
arrived.
wait for the transfer window
we've just
and
arrived.
everything.
Very
We'll do
premature.
that on the
Yeah.
first day.
Yeah.
But
11th of August, somewhere there in August.
But we performed quite well. And Len Moleko, you recently performed really well on the Betway app.
Yeah.
I mentioned last week that I got a nice fat chunk.
Payday. Yes.
But
And I'm
someone,
still waiting for my e-wallet, friend.
someone slightly less happy than us with their betting was Super Sub this past weekend.
Oh, my
my
friend.
goodness,
It was so close.
It was so close.
And if there's a club that will let you down this season, Super Sub.
I'm done with Orlando Pirates in terms of betting. Never betting on them.
We'll get to that.
Oh, goodness.
That was a lot of money that I would have won. Eh?
Yeah, it's Chinatown, man. But anyway.
Look, close one, but that means the next one's coming.
Yeah.
You know, the next one's coming. You're getting there closer every week.
And also, I don't believe it. I mean, you're in your feelings right now, but I don't see you not betting for Orlando Pirates in future.
I'm no longer going to bet
You see
on
what
them.
you
Take out... Because the thing is...
You must balance.
When you bet
I
with
was
the
naive.
heart.
Pirates always struggles with SuperSport. But I picked them for a win because I thought, you know what, this is the last push to get to the second position.
And SuperSport has been kind of struggling.
You know, so that's why I went with them.
So what you do, ne, is when you bet for Pirates, at the
I
same
will not
time...
be betting for Pirates.
No,
anymore.
wait. When you bet with like the weekend that we're going to, but we'll get to that. You must also play Aviator at the same time, you see. So that when you lose this side,
You win that side.
this side can help you and boost
My man,
you.
did you see my slip?
Yes.
Did you see how much money I would have won?
I'm not disputing that.
Yes.
I'm talking about balance.
But there's
Actually,
5
you know
million
what? You know
special
what?
reasons
Yes.
to play
And you know what,
Aviator.
Super Sub, we're going to actually post your slip. We're going to post it on our social so that the ballers can actually see that it is number one possible to make a truckload of money.
Yep.
And also you can just lose it like that, right?
So,
Because you bet for Pirates winning. Anyway.
so there's not much football between now. We've got 2 terrific games on Saturday, one of which we'll be joining you live for, which we will announce later on the show. So
Are we not
stay
doing
tuned to that.
2?
No, we're only doing 1. We're only going live for 1. There's too much of a
I
time
want us
difference.
to die.
But we're going live for 1 game on Saturday and live in your city if you live in Pretoria.
Centurion, yeah. Pretoria.
Yeah.
Midrand also.
People from Pretoria always fight with me when I call Centurion Pretoria. Am I wrong?
Nah, it's just between Pretoria and
Because
Midrand.
Centurion
Marco.
also wants to be mid-range.
No.
Wants to
People
be-
from
Exactly.
Centurion don't want to be called
They don't want to be
Midrand.
part of Midrand.
No.
Yeah. I used to say Centurion at Midrand.
And for the
So
record,
we'll announce it. So stay
it's
tuned
okay.
on our live. We're going to announce where we will be live coming up this Saturday for the Champions
Yeah.
League
And we
final.
might have a surprise guest.
But
we might have a surprise guest.
yeah.
But in saying that, after that, there's no football all the way up to the Euros. So be sure to pick up that Aviator app.
Yeah.
There's a very special something coming your way. Let's say there might be 5 million special somethings coming your way with Betway, where you get way more.
What a way to take off, eh?
Hey, we're taking flight. And speaking of taking off and taking flight, this is Around the World with Tsepi Worldwide, brought to you by Betway.
Where
Get
you
way
get way
more.
Powered by Aviator.
Okay, voiceover. Let's go, voiceover. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys a bit of context because you might have forgotten, and then I'll go into the main headline. You would remember that there is a competition that was meant to happen. It's called the European Super Cup, the ESL. It was a proposed seasonal football competition for clubs in Europe. A proposed competition was meant to have presenting a revamped structure aiming at fostering a competitive and dynamic football landscape across Europe. The competition featured pan-European pyramid with 3 tiers: the Star League, the Gold League, and the Blue League, right? And when that all happened, you would remember that many people, including fans, were vehement that they did not want it to happen, many saying it was a power grab intended to guarantee the Super League founding members their status and revenue. The plans were scrapped just 48 hours later. Right? This competition was run or proposed by a company by the name of A22. This happened back in 2021, December. Now we have gotten
Very
feedback
well.
now. Hey.
No, I'm
you
saying I
recall?
remember like it was
yo.
yesterday.
I
Yeah.
remember Heineken's ad even afterwards.
Yeah.
You see? Now it says here that a Spanish court ordered FIFA and UEFA to stop anti-competitive conduct in their opposition of the breakaway Europa Super League in a ruling which happened yesterday. So what they're basically saying is this, and the judges Sofia Gil Garcia ruled that soccer's world governing bodies, which is FIFA and UEFA, have abused their position of power and are impeding free market competition by granting themselves the discretional power to prohibit participation in alternative competitions and imposing unfair and disappropriate restrictions.
Yep.
Question is number one for me and to you ballers, including yourselves, gentlemen. Is FIFA and Europa, are their actions justified? Is it in the interest of the fans and the players, or are they gatekeeping?
Can I start with this?
Yes, you may.
I'd like to mention a couple things. First of all, I think that the clubs that started the European Super League debacle did it the wrong way, because now we all have a bad taste in our mouth for something that could be really good, because they did this thing where they guaranteed the status of the top clubs.
Yep.
They should have never done that.
Founding ones.
Yeah. They should have never guaranteed Juventus, Man United, Real Madrid will be there this season. You have to earn your status in that.
All of them, yes.
So you have to earn your status there.
Spurs was a part of it as well, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because I remember
Inter were Juventus,
Barcelona, Real
Madrid.
Well, I always call the Super League, what's his face? Real Madrid's president. Why is his name escaping me?
Perez.
It's Florentino Perez's
League.
pet. It's his pet project.
Yeah. So I think he was desperate to do it because they saw a lot of stats that showed young people don't want to watch football enough, because you're not every week seeing Man United, Barcelona, Real Madrid,
The big boys.
Chelsea, whatever. Like, the more people would want to watch, so they'll bring viewers back to football. That was one of his concerns. And I don't disagree with it. I think that it would be interesting to have a European Super League, but because they went about it the wrong way, we have a bad taste in our mouth. But what FIFA did in that time was despicable, in the sense that, yes, we agree, the European Super League was a debacle at the time because of that guaranteed status issue of the European clubs. But then FIFA and UEFA said that any players who join that European Super League will not be allowed to play in any FIFA competition. So if I play for Man United and we in European Super League, I can't play in the World Cup for my country.
Yep. Or in the
They
Euros.
said that if you were to play in this, it was prohibited and the players were going to be named unlawful.
There you
So
go.
Len mentioned, I remember reference it to the Saudi,
The golf.
the golf tournament.
Yes.
Live,
Live
LIV,
golf.
LIV.
It was
Yes.
similar, right?
It was
and,
similar.
And now it's worked out well.
Yeah, I was about to say, how's that panning out? You know, if you look at it, it's working out well. But there are players that cannot participate on. There are players that don't participate on the leave because they were
PGA.
given enough money in PGA.
Yep.
To stay with PGA.
Yeah,
But then when PGA did their U-turn
Yes.
on banning players who go to live golf, that's where everything worked out nicely.
yeah.
So
Do
And
you
there's
thi-
more golf for
I
us to
just-
view.
Look, football for me, it's about history, you know. Yes, maybe they're creating something that is like really, really good, but I feel like it dilutes the history of.
but the Premier
football.
League came from this.
Sorry?
The Premier League exists because of this very reason. The Premier League was a breakaway league in the early 90s.
In the 1992.
Away from the First Division.
Yes.
The old English FA.
FA, yeah. My question is, right, where was the time going to be found to play this
Oh,
Super
no,
League?
they would leave their leagues. So they would leave the Premier League, they would leave La Liga, they would leave.
Then it
and
goes,
they
to,
would
then
create
it goes,
a
to,
European
then
Super
it goes
League.
to his point where I don't want to watch Arsenal and Barcelona. I want to see them in the Champions League.
You
There
want to watch
is,
Arsenal and Stoke?
yes. Or
When
Arsenal
are you
and-
going to watch Arsenal Stoke again? FA Cup next year. Arsenal Southampton or Ipswich.
Yeah.
Oh, Ipswich.
Right?
Yeah.
It's those are the kind of games that we want to watch. I think, again, we look at it and it almost disrupted. We'll see as time goes how it's going to disrupt the African Football League. It took Sundowns away for like a good 2-3 weeks,
big
right?
It was
continent
chaotic
for
in the
travel.
league.
It was
Yes,
chaotic
it
in the
was.
league.
We've
But
still seen the results
and
of
also
AFL.
it was a case of, why did you choose the teams that you chose? Yes, there are rankings, whatever, but why choose those teams specifically? Like a team from Kenya could have wanted to play in the African Football League, or Jwaneng Galaxy could have wanted
Oh,
to
they're
play.
doing
Yes,
well.
but I
eh?
mean,
But as long as they have a
quality.
qualification and a
Yes,
relegation
even
from
so,
these leagues.
remember, this one is really, they are saying a Super Cup, it's for the elite.
Even
Yeah.
the African one was for the elite.
Precisely.
Yes.
So that is the
So
premise for it
it's-
to be for the
But what
elite.
makes you elite? Why would Man United deserve to qualify for that? They finished 8th in the Premier League.
But
Why
it's-
Man
it's-
United deserved as a founding member?
Legacy.
He's saying
Legacy.
historical.
Yes, it's
yes.
terrible.
legacy. Yes. So
That's not football.
But then again, I agree with what the judge said that FIFA is gatekeeping.
I agree.
Football. Because if you also look at what they're trying to do, they're trying to. I think they're diversifying football for some sort. Because they're coming up with a lot of stuff that
Like to have Premier League games played in the United States.
yeah, playing in other countries. I think
but FIFA
Do you
cannot.
think that maybe they were upset
have
that
been
they did
involved
not
in that
come
decision.
up?
Yeah.
Sorry, do you think that they were upset that they did not come up with that idea?
No,
And had they been the ones to be the brainchild of it, it
they-
might have
they're
become
lazy.
a thing.
I just think they just want football to belong to
Monopolize it.
Yeah,
but like, who does football? Okay, what does FIFA stand for, guys?
Federation of International Football Association.
Yes, they are the
The
body that governs football.
They are the body that corrupts football. I mean, governs
Yes,
football.
yes.
Yeah.
The same way the FIA will change the rules of Formula One.
but what I'm saying is
What's the tennis one? The box. They are the.
Yeah, but they should, I agree, from a
You're saying
legal standpoint,
WTA.
if the clubs and the players and everyone gets together and says we're starting a different league because it's going to be better for us, FIFA should not be involved in any of that.
But-
if you want to leave our league, then you must leave our league.
they must be allowed to leave the league. But
but
it's
you
up to
can't
the
keep
owners-
players from playing for their country in
But
the
the
World Cup.
the onus is up to the players to decide what is important for them. Because FIFA, to preserve what they've built over the years, maybe I'm contradicting myself here, because it also sounds like they want to preserve football and the heritage that the FIFA is, to the football world, So it sort of like dilutes.
I think we'd be looking at a European Super League very differently if they started it off the right way. Because I don't think it would be a bad idea to have the elite of Europe playing against each other in league football.
Look,
So-
majority of the fans, and also being honest, maybe it's in the way that it was presented, but majority of the fans, I remember Arsenal fans boycotting, Man United fans, Spurs,
Everyone.
Chelsea,
Yeah,
everyone.
because it was done badly.
Saying, like, we are not going to be a part of this. Football belongs to us, the fans. It does not belong to you guys.
And once again, and I will add to that to drive towards your point. I'm going to mention this again. Fans were saying that this is going to be a money grab for a few individuals in football.
Florentino Perez.
Yeah, that's
that man will just build more
hence I
buildings
asked
in
the
Madrid
question,
and he'll
is
be
it
fine.
really about the fans? Is it about the players? Or is it really about a few individuals?
Football has been monopolized, and it's all about money now.
Sad, very sad. But I agree with the decisions of the court. I think that FIFA should not be banning players from the World Cup if they choose to play in a European Super League. But if a European Super League is to happen and is to exist in the future, absolutely the format cannot be the initial one proposed, because we as football fans will never watch football again.
So do you want to watch Real Madrid against Brighton?
Maybe.
Okay.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be messy. There's a lot that is going
No,
on.
he's
the world
in the MLS.
Okay.
No, I'm here. Anyway,
Darling, let's
carry
move
Yeah.
on.
Okay, so another controversial one, and I want to get your thoughts on this one. Let me give you context once again. There's a player by the name of Emilio Nsue. He previously played several games for Spain at youth level, including featuring at the Under-21 European Championship in 2011. Since then, he became Equatorial Guinea's record goal scorer while participating in qualifiers for the 2018 and 2022 World Cups and appearing at 3 separate editions of AFCON. You would remember him, he was there. Now, the question is he eligible to play in FIFA World Cup and preliminaries and also the qualifiers? It says here that FIFA, the world governing body, has banned him for 6 months after ruling that he was not eligible to play in Equatorial Guinea's first 2 qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup. Now, this means that because 2 of these matches have already played the preliminaries, and that would mean that those 2 previous matches that happened back in November, the first match was against Namibia on the 15th of November. It was a 1-0 win for Equatorial Guinea, and he scored the only goal. The other match was Liberia versus Equatorial Guinea on the 20th of November, and once again, he scored that goal. Now, because of him not being eligible to play it says that, he played in the preliminary
Preliminaries.
rounds. And because of that, that means that those 2 matches he took part in, they are going to remove the points, meaning Equatorial Guinea will forfeit.
points.
And those 2 teams will win 3-0.
Sure.
As per usual.
Yes. So the question is this. Number one, he's been banned, and there's also some money that the federation has to pay. It's in Swiss francs. It's 150,000 Swiss francs, about 6.2 million South African rands. Question number one is this. Do you think that FIFA was too harsh in how they punished him?
The rules are the ruls.
And
Zip the
also,
rules.
secondly, was it fair for them to punish him 6 months? Obviously, make them pay this amount of money and still remove all those points.
My question is, how does he get on the field if he's not been registered adequately?
No, it's a case of
In the first place.
If I got the merit of the story properly,
Yes.
At youth level he was playing for Spain, and then he went on to go play for Equatorial Guinea.
But that's pretty normal. I mean,
but there's a certain
Diego Costa played youth level for Brazil and then played for Spain. In
yes.
the senior side. So there's leniency within the rules.
Yes.
So whatever happened in those rule breaks is because you didn't follow the leniency, the right procedure, right?
Sounds
And
like it.
I think that you should be punished for not following the right procedure. But also, the governing body needs to take responsibility for letting that man get on the field, because his whole country is suffering now. Because it's one thing for him to be banned, but now the whole country suffers by losing 2 games that they won
And money, potentially.
and a fine when you guys let the guy get on the field in the first place. Should have never happened.
Administratively, they scored an own goal.
There you go. They were
Cute
offside.
to be-
Yeah,
They weren't onside with
They
us.
They were not on this show.
They weren't onside with us in Betway. They were offside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
What's up, quickly? Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think rules are rules. And if you don't follow the rules, that punishment is standard.
Okay, very, very quickly. This one, we're not even about to discuss. West Ham midfielder Lucas Paqueta has been charged by the Football Association for allegedly getting booked deliberately for the improper purchase of affecting the betting market. You would know him, Barcelona beat Lyon to win Women's Champions League final. Lionel Messi, frustrated fans also said, no. Yes, so that's the story. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start off with Paqueta.
Paqueta
Yes,
spot
Paqueta.
fixing. Obviously, they investigating set for him because City were actually eyeing him for next season.
They've
And
been
if
eyeing
he
him before he even joined West
And
Ham,
you-
remember?
And you don't want to pull a Newcastle, so
Yes.
so that's out the picture.
Yep.
so if he's found, there's a possibility that he might actually be banned for life from playing football.
Or for
So-
a bit. I mean, what happened to our young boy from who's our
Ivan
boy?
Toney.
Tony, yes.
Tony's
No, but you see, Ivan Toney was gambling.
yes.
He wasn't match fixing.
He wasn't.
You're not
Paqueta-
allowed to gamble. You're not allowed to bet on football as a footballer. You're not allowed to do that.
No, but
But
yeah.
his issue was match fixing, purposefully.
Yeah.
So
Improper
saying that
purchase
he's
of
going
betting.
Getting he said he was gonna he bet on him he gave information that he was gonna
It's
get
like a
booked
Hansi
at
Kronia.
Pretty
basically.
much.
What happened with Hansi Kronia? It's
Same
match
thing.
fixing. It's
Yep.
the same thing. It's
Just
that-
without Heschel Gibbs, but
you
same
know,
thing, yeah.
some gangsters come up to you, they say, listen, we're going to give you £1 million if you get a yellow card on Wednesday. And then he goes and gets a yellow card. And then those
in
gangsters,
the 40th minute.
they bet £20 million of their own money on him getting a yellow card, and they come out rich,
they know
rich,
their
rich men.
returns, of
That's
course.
match fixing. That's illegal. If he's found guilty, he should be punished adequately. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, word is he'll be banned from football for life.
Isn't it 10 years?
No, I heard life.
Well, I don't think that that's an over-the-top punishment for match fixing. I wouldn't like to see players getting banned for very long periods if they bet on sports because you've not been found guilty of match fixing. Guys, you need to gamble responsibly. It can be an addiction. It can be dangerous for people.
Yeah, because it's
so if you
Chinese
have a
sometimes,
problem,
you know?
there is help. There's help there on the Betway app that'll help you with all those sorts
Wouldn't
of
it
things.
be fair that if you are a player, you can't bet on your own team?
But they can't bet at all.
You can't bet at all.
It's
I'm saying,
part of
wouldn't it
it.
be fair?
No.
Yeah, I think
Don't bet.
so.
But,
It
if-
would be outrageously unfair
But you
if
can
you
play-
bet on your own team.
You can
That's
play.
definite match
You
fixing.
can play Aviator, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't
You
seen
must
the
actually
rules.
look into that.
I don't think you're
If you're a
allowed
soccer
to
player-
Guys,
take part.
pro footballers who watch this, do you play Aviator? Let us
Yes.
know.
No, they will not
You can
come
tell
out.
us on the side. Don't record a video. You can just,
Just send us
slide
a
into our
small little
DMs.
Or
message.
else
Don't
it's
go
time.
live.
Yeah, don't go live.
Yeah.
Them players.
So that's, I think we share a view on that. Paqueta, it's very sad because he's a top player. I think he performed really well for West Ham,
Yeah.
and it's sad because that City move is off the table completely now.
Yeah.
Just in case that were to come up. So
And that's
it.
all we have for you worldwide.
I want to mention 1 or 2 points there. Barcelona, women's side, winning everything.
Winning. Congratulations to them.
The
for that.
Sundowns or Sundowns women of Europe.
Yes,
Yeah.
well done to
Hey.
them.
And
for
where is
that.
the coach is actually moving to Chelsea to replace
That's right.
Yes.
Emma Hayes.
Yes, I saw it.
Who I thought we
saw
were
that.
discussing MIA's coming to Chelsea.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, but obviously Leicester coach Maresca looking very much like he'll be confirmed in the next day or two as the Chelsea coach.
Yep.
And then the last point was that Lionel Messi issue in MLS. Do we care? It's MLS.
Nah.
No, we actually don't. Actually, I'm sorry to, because we are speaking coaches, Peter Mosimane, losing that one important match.
Oh, yeah, shame.
Yeah, no.
And it was always
Sorry,
a
Pizzo.
It was
Yeah.
always a gamble.
It was a gamble.
It was a
course,
gamble.
of
Len,
course.
I think for me, I just like you should stop taking these projects that.
He's a
Pizzo-
builder, clearly.
Yeah, no, I know, and it looks like I read somewhere today that his representative was seen in the southern side of Gauteng. You know, so
Oh, really?
yeah,
No way.
yeah. So
Next would be
week-
nice to see him in the
Next-
PSL next season.
Next to a prison.
hey man,
Kwale, wa tseba ke re.
Yeah,
Letsatsing kwale.
yeah, the sun was shining.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that's all we have for you,
In the
gentlemen.
city.
Well, that's that wraps up Around the World with Tepe Worldwide.
Brought
Thank
to
you
you
so
by
much, Betway. And
Aviator.
The Aviator.
Nazo?
The Aviator game. So thank you for that, darling.
You're
Let's
welcome,
move
my
on.
darling.
Speaking of PSL, Sundowns not invincible. The last day.
After
Not-
all.
Not a good day for Gauteng down in Cape Town.
Mvala selling Sundowns
Lord
under the bus
Mvala.
again. Ish. But unfortunately, man, but they had a good campaign.
Mvala
I'm sure they would be kicking themselves because I don't see any team in the DStv Premiership anytime soon
Ever
going on
matching
a
it.
run of 29 games unbeaten. I don't see that happening.
No, it's a
anytime
great
soon.
achievement.
And
Almost
even the
unbe-
points they accumulated.
I mean, look how
Well,
we
they couldn't beat
celebrated
their record.
Leverkusen.
But then the record was
Even the
over. There were more games. I think they played 34 games when that record was achieved.
It was 18-18.
Yeah, 18 teams.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yes, it was 18-18. So I think they played all. But there were more teams at the time, so there were more games that were played.
Okay.
For them to get to
Even
where they
so.
got to.
But I think
big ups to them.
Mamelodi Sundowns this season had like a stellar season. Like honestly speaking, what Rulani has done with that team to go 29 unbeaten, it's unheard of. I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah,
Let's be
simply-
honest.
simply-
I
simply
mean, if you
out of
look
this
at the run of the games that they have, having to play AFL, having to play Champions League, and factor in that majority of his players were actually in the Bafana in the AFCON, and he still managed to get those results and just drop the soap on the last day of Parul. I mean,
Drop the soap.
And you can't do that. You know, you never drop the soap.
Why is your mind still at Sun City, dog?
And speaking of which, another person that we need to be congratulating, because we are talking Mamelodi Sundowns, Percy Dow, number 3 CAF Champions League gold medal.
Yeah, big up. Al Ahly winning the Champions League is almost like Sundowns winning the league.
It's like Real Madrid winning Champions League.
Yeah, it's, when
still
they're
a
in the
win.
final, you know, like it's.
I just like how Egyptian fans are embracing him. You know, I think he's a proper number 10 for them, and it shows that he's a star.
And hopefully that reflects on Bafana come Nigeria.
hopeful.
We're crossing fingers.
Elsewhere in the league, obviously we've known for some time Cape Town Spurs were gone. They managed to say goodbye on a high.
And we said this last week.
Look,
We said, hey,
beating Chiefs is not a high
didn't say.
anymore, guys.
But it actually is. Speaking of beating
so
Kaizer Chiefs, guys, can we
first
say
time
now?
out of the top 8 since when?
Yo, since forever.
uh,
No, in
But
the
it
PSL
happened.
era, they've
never been
finished
out of the top 8.
Outside of the top 8.
Yeah. Very, very quickly, guys. Are we saying now that we have 3 sheriffs in town, 3 top sheriffs, which are Stellies, Orlando Pirates, and Mamelodi Sundowns?
No.
Is it too premature to say?
No, you
We
can't
have
write
one
off Chiefs.
sheriff. You're not allowed 2 sheriffs.
Okay, so we have one sheriff and 2 deputies.
Maybe.
Yeah, you can't write off Chiefs, and I think
You can't what?
write off Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's fine. They're doing a very stellar job by themselves.
no. Look, I mean, I agree with you that they've had a bad run, but I think
Bad
it's
season.
it's Kaizer Chiefs.
It
They will
happens,
they will bounce back, and I think them
Other people are moving forward though. That's a problem.
Yeah, for sure. But them finishing outside of top 8, I think it's a blessing in disguise for the new coach that is coming in. You know, you don't want to be new at a club and having to start with a competition, which is what happens with PSL. You know, top 8 is that competition that you play before you can even sit down if you're new in the place. You know what I mean? So it could give a coach a bit of an opportunity to suss his team out and understand the dynamics within Nigeria and build from there. That's why I think it's a blessing in disguise.
Katu says in the comments, Chiefs should stop playing soccer and focus on selling chips.
Simba.
Look, their marketing department
When
is
people
a
are
well-run machine. The
I think
marketing
it's one department that we can't fault there.
Yes, the marketing department
Sounds
is
so much
stellar.
like Manchester United.
Yes, can sell the jerseys, but the football does not produce results, as it were. But like, look, unfortunately for them, I hear what Super Sub is saying that you can't write off Chiefs and whatever, but Stellies is advancing, and they are advancing at a very constant, like proper rate. You've got Pirates who they never really let themselves down. Yes, they might finish by my second, fourth, somewhere there in. But ever since Riviero has come through, Pirates have looked like a good team. They just can't match up to Orlando. I mean, sorry, to Mamelodi
And speaking of
Sundowns.
Riviero, very, very quickly, gentlemen. So we have the DSTV Premiership Coach of the Season nominees. Riviero is one of them. Stephen Barker of Stellies, as well as Rulani Mokoena. Choose your fighter.
Whoever wins the Nedbank Cup will be the... Wait, what is the award again?
Coach of the
Manager
season.
of the
No.
season.
It needs to be... Is it the PSL Coach of the season or
Yes,
is it the
DSTV
DSTV?
Premiership, not PSL, DSTV Premier.
Then it's Rulani Mokoena.
Rulani?
Yes.
Hey,
Marco?
he's dominant.
Super Sub?
Yeah, I know. It's
But it's boring to
obvious.
give these awards to Sundowns now.
No, it
Hey,
can't
they
be.
put in work the whole season. They
must
deserve
get
it.
this. Yeah, you know.
They deserve it.
That's
Other coaches
boring.
must look and speak about 200 million and speak about Neymar
And look-
and Messi and Ronaldo
Yeah.
and Sunshine.
The sun must shine on sundown.
Yes.
Is Steve Barker going to be looking at the squad he had this season and see a few of them getting picked off?
Oh, they've already put a price on some of the players.
Is it Jaden Adams
I think so. Because there's a 10 million price tag. I think
or is it Ikram Reyners?
one of the two.
Reyners might, he's just too good. He was so close to being getting the golden boot. So chances are he is on the
Mabasa
radar.
was good. While we're speaking about awards, as
Yes.
we will almost obviously player of the season, I would give it to Ronwin.
Okay.
I think he had a stellar season. I
Mokoena?
think
Mokoena too. It's going to be difficult for.
don't
I
see
think
the
Ikram
Pirates
Reyners is the other nominee in that
Yes, it's
category,
Reyners,
right?
it's Mokoena, as well as Imrak. Yes, Reyners, Mokoena, and Williams, sorry.
You see, between Mokoena and Ronwin, I don't know because
chances are it might be Mokoena. Between the two, I'll give it. It's difficult to pick one.
it's player of the season. Am I correct? It's the PSL player of the season.
Yes, darling.
So that means across all competitions, not just the league.
Yes. And that means we don't talk AFCON, we don't talk
No.
anything continental.
So it's a case of there was a whole lot of confusion where people were asking why is Mokoena considered to be a candidate for player of the season, but he is not a candidate for midfielder of the season.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice also because when you think about it, I would rather even have Williams not win player of the season and win goalkeeper of the season. They're still that.
No, granted, but goalkeeper, midfielder, that's for the DSTV Premiership.
Yes, across the board.
Player of the season is across MTN 8, Nedbank Cup, Kali,
Label.
Black Label, and the league. So that is why Mokoena does not feature as a midfielder of the season, but
For
he
DSTV
features
Premiership.
Yes, he features for player of the season because it's across
Overall.
all competitions.
Okay.
Just wanted to clear that up.
So,
Okay.
last thing that I want to bring up, Richards Bay doing their bit to try and stay in the PSL, but Royal AM
Did they bid?
did their bit and forced Richards Bay, who have had a terrific
Run of results.
run of results in terms of, they had a terrific go at surviving, and that puts them in good stead, I suppose,
Momentum
for the
for the playoffs?
playoffs. As
Yeah.
in, they've been playing at this level, at DStv Premiership level, and they're playing against teams from a lower division, from Motsepe Foundation Championship. Does that bode really well for them, Len Moleko?
I think that if they can keep the momentum, remembering that they beat Pirates, they beat Stellies, and if they can just keep that momentum, that mentality, that grit, and approach Baroka and Amatax the same way, then chances are they'll be able to come back.
We wish them
Any
the
reason
best.
why I didn't mention that they beat Chiefs?
I get you said Chiefs will be back, so I didn't want to drag them in the mud again.
Yeah, I think they will look back, and I think the game that they should have won is the game against Cape Town City. That 3-1 that they lost to Cape Town City. I
During
think
that period where Cape Town City were starting to make
Was
us think.
slumping,
Well, Cape Town City were just flying just for a little bit. There was just that little moment at the very beginning of this year.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you when you leave it up to other teams to do you a bit,
Yeah.
it never works out.
Ask Arsenal.
They know it better.
Speaking of someone who did not let other teams determine his bid, congratulations again to a team that I do not think they've ever played in the Continental Showpiece. I think it's Kukune, Coach Siema. I think they are in top 4. They're going to be playing in Confed, correct? Am I wrong? Please check.
Only one team.
Stellenbosch.
Only Stellies. So it's...
Oh, so we don't have 4. Guys, check.
So wait.
If Pirates wins the
Yes, Pirates
Nedbank
wins
Cup,
the Nedbank Cup.
there's a
Then-
spot available because Pirates it's going to
so we have
Champions
2
League
CAF,
and Sundowns is
1
going to
Confed.
Champions
Wait,
League.
Sikukune is 4th, right?
Guys, please
Either
check.
way, they are gonna go play. They
Yes,
are gonna
they
play.
are.
Oh, but
That's what
because
I'm
it's... Yeah, okay.
Because Pirates and Sundowns
Right,
are 1 and
right,
2.
right.
So either
Okay.
way, yes.
Yeah, but they didn't work
Apologies.
for it, man.
They did.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to them.
Is Siama still their coach?
Of course he is.
He's on leave.
He's on
Tony's
leave.
there.
He's on leave.
Yeah, but he was their coach. He still is.
But
he got
he's
them
on
there.
leave. But
Congratulations,
also, it's
my
them
friend.
It's them going back to the conflict because they were there
Were they
at the
there?
start of the
Yeah, they've
season
played,
along
yeah.
with
Oh
SuperSport
no, what's
United.
looking? I confused Kukune a lot, Lipolokwan. But yes,
In
Kukune.
Cape Town City, the club just missing out there.
Shout out to them.
It's funny how I was trying to explain that if Pirates beat Sundowns, then they go
And both of them are 1-2. And there's-
How stupid was that?
It happens, my friend.
But you just thinking about Pirates winning games. I get
No,
it, Super Sub, I get
Yo.
it.
And you disheartened, ne?
No, hey, don't talk about
I
Pirates.
think the last 2 matches, I mean, remember we spoke about
3.
this. They were so close again. And then at
That's
some
why I
point
said
you're
they
like,
don't deserve to be
actually,
in Champions
yeah.
League. Actually, Stellies actually gave it away.
Yeah, because Orlando
3
Pirates,
times.
no
Kukune lost
wins.
3 games in a row.
Handley, yeah.
Stellies
Orlando
lost their
Pirates.
last 3
I mean,
games.
Stellies lost 3 games in a row.
And they winless in 4.
Imagine.
And Pirates winless in 3, 2 losses and a draw.
And
it's
Stellies at
it's
some
difficult
point-
to celebrate that second position, more
I
so
don't-
when you are 20 points adrift from number 1.
And also losing a Nedbank Cup final as well.
23.
Imagine.
How do you know?
Wait, what happened?
How do you know? Shut up.
Okay, so let's move on.
Yes.
Everyone happy to move on
Yes.
from
Yeah.
PSL?
Yeah, quickly.
Champions League this Saturday. Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid.
Can we leave Saturday for Saturday?
Let's rather than do a preview now,
let's
we'll
leave
do a
Saturday
preview
for
on Saturday, but let's introduce it to you.
Yeah.
We will be broadcasting live from Coffee in Centurion. So if you joined us for AFCON at Coffee in Midrand, remember it's a different one. I got that wrong. That's why I got that confused. That's why I'm reminding you. Come join us on Saturday at Coffee in Centurion. You'll meet myself, Len Moleko, Tsepi Worldwide. Super Sub might have to wear a mask or something. I don't know.
I'm not there.
You're not going?
No,
No,
he's
I'm
not
not
going to
going
be
on
there.
that.
He can
no
never
problem.
be there.
He's just going to be a voice that we're going to plug him in.
Yeah, he can never be
remote. Okay,
Yeah,
no problem. So yes, we'll be joining you watching live from Coffee in Centurion, and we will be live streaming across YouTube as well from Coffee Centurion for Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund. We'll do a preview of the game then.
there. Is this the biggest competition or biggest match for the entire season, would you say?
No. It was Bafana versus Nigeria.
Yeah, that game was massive. Eh?
That was a big game. That's the biggest game of the year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Marco?
numbers said so.
Ne?
If the
How
numbers
many
says
billions, how many millions did we have?
I don't know. It was a lot.
Forgot.
It was
a
a
lot.
lot.
Hey.
It was a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay.
But listen, this one is no joke. It's Marco Reus's last game with Borussia Dortmund.
Toni Kroos.
Tony Kroos's last game in football
yes.
ever.
Yes.
it's what.
Yeah. We gave him a big ups last week, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
we
cool.
did.
Another person, Kieran Tinley, says goodbye to Real Madrid as he's returning. Oh no, he's returning to Arsenal, so it doesn't matter. He's not saying goodbye officially.
What else? Oh yes, congratulations to Xabi Alonso
We've got
winning
5
the double.
minutes to go through the transfers.
Yes.
Invincible Xabi Alonso.
Yes, first time in Germany that was done. Yeah, congratulations.
Guys,
to him.
are we? Is it premature? By the way, is it really confirmed about Company?
Yes, company
Yes.
signed a
So what are we
3-year
saying? Because we have not said a thing.
We said it last week,
We
I think.
spoke about it last week.
Tepi, right now in the world of football,
Yes, darling.
all you need to be picked by a big team, you just need to be Pep
Handsome.
disciple.
Oh,
Yeah,
not
as
handsome.
long as you played under Pep.
As long as you played under Pep, you are okay. Big teams are gonna give
Or
you a
worked
chance.
with him.
Or work with him.
Yeah.
Ah.
Because it looks like it.
And
Interesting.
word
Because
is
even this guy who's going to what's his name?
Chelsea.
Yes.
Word on the street is
Enzo.
word on the street is that who's your assistant manager?
Juan what?
He might be tipped to take over from Pep should he decide to leave at the end of next season.
Okay. Interesting. But that is a natural progression. Is
Okay.
it not?
So sticking to managers, obviously Enzo Maresca imminently joining Chelsea from Leicester. Leicester will find a new manager, something that costs them less money. They've got financial issues. The financial issues are bigger in terms of points than what. I mean, they're talking about 20 points or something that they'll be deducted as the season starts.
But you can go and appeal.
We'll
like
see. We'll
Everton
see.
did.
Well, first of all, they're going to have to sell a bunch of players now in this window and hope that they can bring in players for free or something along those lines, or buy players cheap for when the Premier League season starts
Yeah.
and try and balance the books
Yeah.
a little bit.
This might be overplayed,
But it
but
looks
Kylian Mbappe has played his last match.
No,
For
it's done.
PSG.
he must
He's
go.
done it.
He must go. He must go to Madrid.
He's going to Real Madrid, we know.
The Mbappe thing has been so annoying.
That's what I'm asking. Like, it's overplayed, right?
It's so annoying. Can he just go be introduced there at the Bernabeu? They must open the stadium on top and get him to juggle the ball there once.
That's it.
But it looks like managerial transfer are more interesting than
Right?
players right now, eh?
Yeah,
Right?
Xavi being replaced by Hansi Flick at Barcelona.
Oh, yes, yes,
The
yes.
craziest thing about the Xavi Hernandez was in September, he said
I'm leaving
he's leaving.
at the end of the season.
In January, they said to him, please don't leave.
And he said, no, I'm leaving.
No, he stayed.
No,
Yes, he
in
said at the
January.
time, he
But
was
he
so
was saying, no,
adamant.
at the end of the
Yes.
season, I'm leaving.
No, he agreed to stay and see out his contract.
No, he still said,
It
I'm
came
leaving.
late.
And then
It
he
was like
changed
March.
his mind again. And then he said, I'm going to
Like
stay.
in March, he said he was gonna stay.
Yes. He, at some point, he was.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
now,
late.
Yeah.
And then now, the same people who were begging him to stay,
But did you see
show
why?
him the door.
But did you see why? He had one press conference after a game. And he said, I don't know what we're going to do in the transfer window. I don't think it's going to be good. What? And then the president,
Jean Laporte.
Laporte.
Yeah.
He's been horrible. I think Barcelona find themselves where they are because of his mismanagement.
this is the problem with democracy. You can't have a board of people who have been voted in. You need a dictatorship like Real Madrid.
It's my show.
It's my show. I make
That's
the
the
choices.
that's the Paris show. And look, I suppose you're right, but it's sad for him. I remember I was saying on after his departure was announced sometime last week, if I'm not mistaken, that he should maybe go take up a job at Brighton or maybe even Leicester City, almost like to build himself up. Because I don't see any other big gig that's awaiting
He's
him
a
now.
Pep disciple. He's gonna get a big gig.
Where?
Watch.
Oh, yeah, Bayern. Does Bayern have a new coach?
No,
Have they
Bayern
found
is
one?
Vincent Company.
Oh, they
It's
got
Vincent
off.
Company.
I just said it.
Yes.
And when Rooney's got a job, guys, that team is gonna get
Oh, I
relegated.
saw that.
Plymouth.
Plymouth and
Plymouth
Argyle.
Argyle.
Yeah.
Why did I think he went to MK Dons? Anyway, but yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
They're going to get relegated.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. And he
my
did
prediction.
well. He did well everywhere until Birmingham.
Yeah.
He did fantastically well at Derby.
No, not in.
But Derby had problems either way.
MLS did he do good?
He did well at DC United.
He
DC
did-
United's a nothing team.
He
did well.
decent.
MSL.
But he was a player there. He did more as a player.
The player
Shame, man.
coach.
But I wish him well, man. I think he's trying. He really wants He doesn't want to be a pundit. He
Which
wants
which other managers are moving? It's Allegri as
So
well. He's
I
gone.
think Allegri's gone, so he'll be available for somebody. And then
De Zerbi
I
is
think
still unemployed.
the big one, one of the big managerial news that I want to announce on the show that I want to speak about is, come on, man, dilly ding, dilly dong.
oh, Claudio.
Claudio
Ranieri.
Ranieri. He's retired from managing. He's retired from football altogether after he's an old man. He did so well.
No, he did so well. Big ups to him.
He went back to his hometown club, got them promoted, got them safe in Serie A. Terrific. Terrific career as a manager.
Yeah, him, the likes of who retired again now after he left Palace?
Roy Hodgson.
Roy Hodgson. They say Alexes of this world, the Arsene
legends
Wengers
of
of this world. That's the generation of managers that we are losing now. And I think after them, following your Don Carlos will follow suit, the Mourinho's.
Poch.
And
Poch is
Poch is
a
still a
Not
baby,
yet.
man. Poch is still a baby.
Okay, but what about Real Madrid's coach?
Yeah, Don Carlo, he will follow suit.
No,
Don Carlos-
Ancelotti.
He said he will retire at Real Madrid. It will be his last team he's going to coach.
He's
gonna go to
He's
Brazil.
going to go to Brazil.
Well, he's just maybe deflecting the media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Leonardo Bonucci retiring, guys.
What a
about
defender he
damn
was.
time.
Bonucci, yes.
But
Look,
He's 38.
proper
just go to LA
Saudi.
Galaxy or whatever.
I think he's going to go. I think.
proper
Nah,
centre
I
back.
think he's gonna retire.
He was part of the Sunshine Juventus team that was winning league titles season after
and
season.
you can't take away from the fact that it was that Juve team was as good as they were down to him and Chiellini as a
Yes,
partnership.
that was a
They were unreal.
Look, if there's one thing that you should be guaranteed of, is that Italy know how to produce proper centre backs. We can go
Agreed.
back to the days
Maldini
of
and-
Maldini, Cannavaro, Nesta. Who's the one who played for AC Milan as well? His name escapes me, and he was one of the best centre backs to have ever played the game. What's his name? Flip. I forget his name.
Okay, you'll remember.
Ballers will tell us. And one baller asking how Bayern skipped Mourinho. Mourinho is not hot property right now.
Also, I'm not sure how good Mourinho's German is. I think for company, it bodes well for him because he's fluent in German.
Yeah.
And he plays attacking football.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting stuff. So one more transfer news that happened today. Timo Werner is the first signing for any of the clubs in England because he was being allowed to sign before the window opens officially because he was on loan and they've just extended the loan with a 15 million euro buy clause.
He was not a game changer, so it's fine.
Timo Werner, his time in England's not been phenomenal anyway.
I mean, I would choose Havertz over Timo Werner any day.
I agree. So that's it from us here on Onside ZA. Thank you so much, Len Moleko.
German.
Thank you, Tepi Darling.
Thanks, darling.
Thank you, Super Sub.
Danko.
And thank you most of all to you, the ballers. As always, we will see you on Saturday at Coffee in Centurion, where you can stay onside with us. Don't be offside, be onside with us and Betway.
Where you get
way more.
Danko means thank you.